Hi. We are right now going to figure out how to do darts. Even though we know that you probably practiced darts for your entire life, like some people here have, but some like to see an expert do them. So now we're watching Jennifer Stern make a dart.
It's scintillating. Okay, so the first thing I do is I make sure I'm going to sew on the line both ways. So when I pin, I put a pin through and see how it's on the, see? So that's how I know it's going to match up. So I put a couple pins in and I make sure that they're even, like that. I'm going to check this one. Oops, that one's not matching up, see? So I'm just gonna roll it a little bit to get it to match up. And then I'm gonna try it again. Oh, now I'm happy, see? All right, so now that I'm pinned, there's a few different ways I sew darts. You can sew and then decrease your stitch length when you get to the tip. Then a lot of times when I'm working with a lightweight cotton though, I don't want to make a short stitch length because it gets a little brutal for the fabric. So another way to do it, I'll do that instead. I'm just going to start stitching. And I'm stitching and I'm just going to back tack at the top. You always want to keep your back tack in the seam allowance so it doesn't show, but and then I'm going to go and I'm going and I'm going and I'm going. I'm going to take this pin out now. And then I'm going. And when I get off the bottom, I'm just going to keep going. Just for a minute, for a few stitches. I'm going to pick it up and see how it makes that nice little thread chain? I'm going to put my thing down and I'm just going to take a couple stitches and I hand walk this so I don't go crazy and back up. And what it does is it secures.
When you're in the dart?
In the dart.
In the dart.
Yeah, so this is another way to do it without back tacking. I'm not a fan of back tacking because back tacking makes bulk and sometimes you catch it funny and it makes a pucker. So that's how that looks. See, and it makes a very nice.
Oh, it does.
It does. Yeah.
Okay, and when I sew a waist dart, you can do that too. You can tie the ends. You can make the stitch length smaller, and the heavier fabric, if you make the stitch length smaller, like something that can take it, that usually works. Because if you make a shorter stitch, it's not going to come undone. Now again, I'm checking to make sure, okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the middle and I'm going to go to one end and then I'll flip it and do the other side when I do a waist dart. I don't start from end to end. Starting above center, and I'm just going to start stitching. All right, so we're going to pretend we're pressing this on my knee because I would use a ham in real life. And the one thing is, if your cup size is A to C, you want to press the bust fullness down. If it's D or above, press it up. And it just makes a better shaped bust for a larger bust, and it sort of de-accentuates the fullness, but it also accentuates it, or just it makes it a nicer fit for those smaller cups. And what you want to do is you want to find the place on your ham where you can sort of get the shape. So see on my knee, I've got that, it's all laying nice and I can finger press it. So then you want to sort of start at the tip and press over here first. You don't want to smash like this because if there's any funny business going on, you'll make it more permanent. It'll make a crease. So sort of get in front of the dart tip first, and then I like to steam without pressure, finger press, and then if you press too hard, you can actually get a shine or an indentation of that triangle.
Right.
Yeah.
So that'd be a little pressing tip on my knee, which is sort of innovative.
Perfect.
Awesome.
The thing about the waist dart is, since it's at an angle underneath, you can't just lay it all flat. So what I do is I start in the middle and I work one way. And when you get to the tip, remember to press below the tip just to make sure it's nice and smooth. Then start from the middle and go the other way. Like that.
Okay.
So that's how I would do this, because you can see that that's not going to lay flat. If you try to smash it flat,
Yeah.
you're going to get all this creepy wrinkle
Gonna get
stuff going on.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you just work with the tip of the iron a little at a time.
This is Jennifer Stern. We will be showing you, she will be showing you how to turn the fitted shirt into a shirt tail hem.
The first thing you want to do is line up your side seams so they match. Okay, and then maybe pin it together. So I'm just going to pin it so it doesn't slide like this.
She can give them to me.
Okay. All right, so we're adding 2 inches at the center front.
I know what this tastes like.
And I think in the back I'm going to add 3 inches so it's a little bit longer. And of course you can customize this, as you go. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up at the center, at the side seams, about 1 inch. The whole goal of this is to make a smooth transition from here to here to here. What we're going to do now is we're going to start a curve here, but see, it needs to be a little bit at a 90 degree. And I'm just going to make a few dashes. I'm not going to commit myself to a solid line. And then coming off of here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start to make a few dashes. Now I can see that that's kind of a lot, so maybe I won't shorten it here, and it's going to have to depend on your shape and how long your shirt is, because that's really drastic. But it's also a look, like there are shirt tail hems that are very curved. So just to show you what that will look like, let me just show you. So it really depends on the style of the shirt tail you want. This is going to make a really rounded one, and that is a look, but see how that looks? And I'm just going back and forth with the French curve to get a nice smooth shape. So maybe I'll just do, curve that. So there's a curve, and once you have that, like let's say you're going to say, well, maybe I want to, this pencil loves me. Maybe I want to do something like this. Maybe make it a little less. So I'm just going to use my dashing method, something like that. And then again here, I can start and I can get the shape. Now that's really kind of a drastic curve, but it is a curve that is in shirt tail, so you have to decide how much of a curve you want. So maybe, I'll try that and see. The whole thing is you don't want this coming into a point, because then you'll have a point at your side seams that looks kind of not fabulous. It's almost good that it comes in and comes back out. All right, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to come up a little bit. I think it's a little bit too, like something like, I think that looks better. So you can play with it, and you can feel free to do dashing. But the whole goal is you don't want to have a point here. This should have like a little bit of a straightaway, like that. So it's a little bit of a, oh no, I went like this, I'm sorry. Like a little bit of a straight edge there. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So that would be a shirt tail hem.